hello there, in the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or I guess if I want to go really obscure, late to the party, but I think Obi-Wan's probably a more appropriate comparison. Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to YouTube or Twitch, and we are now at, sorry, I'm kind of out of breath. It's been a crazy week last week, I gotta say, between my Attack of the Clones watch party and now. Yeah, just not been... It's been a shit show last week, but hey, wait, we're here with Star Wars. This is Revenge of the Sith, the best prequel. I think most people will agree that this is the most watchable of the bunch. Why do I only have 2 people watching? That shouldn't be right. Spiders Prime, hello there, welcome. General Kano. I think you meant to type in Kenobi. Oh no, that is an I. So, General Kanohi. Must be a new Jedi. Is the YouTube stream working for you guys? Let me pull up YouTube, because for some reason it's only showing 3 people are watching. When I saw the comments before I got started, and I know there's more of you in the chat. Says that on my side. Well, it says 3 people are watching in total, because I'm looking at the multi-stream chat. Yeah, 2 people. It says 2 people are watching, which that is bullshit, because there's 3 of you on YouTube just chatted. Spiders Prime, Giselle 100, and Rye Guy. And then there's somebody on Twitch, unless somebody just ditched Twitch, which that's no fun. Anyway, enough of that. This is Revenge of the Sith. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for understanding that last week I kind of had to slow things down, so that's why there was no Sword in the Stone review. There was just a lot of shit going on in my personal life, and also just the idea of just getting back into the groove of work is exhausting. But yeah, doing Revenge of the Sith. Like last week, I'll be jumping into A New Hope tomorrow, because tomorrow is my other day off. So it'll just be easier to do that stream tomorrow. And again, come June, I'll have a more planned out weekly schedule. James Bond 007, welcome to the stream. It's time for every prequel fan's favorite Star Wars movie. I think this is the best Star Wars movie by default in the prequel trilogy alone. Because Phantom Menace is just, it's got a lot of great stuff and a lot of other terrible stuff, and then it's just so, it's just so, like, Attack of the Clones is just so boring. So we're gonna get started. First off, I want to thank 2 new people who follow me on Twitch and subscribe to me on YouTube. For YouTube, 29 minutes ago, I have Mehaik Yuxel subscribed to me on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. I don't think you're watching this right now, but if you are, make yourself known in the chat. And I also want to thank over on Twitch, Wendy Lee Zaney for following me. If you don't know who Wendy Lee is, she is one half of the Movie Couple on YouTube. She's a member of the Hollywood Critics Association, and she's popped up on Collider several times. I think she used to work there once. I think she still does. But yeah, Wendy's a great person, and huge Star Wars fan, so very appropriate that I am doing these Star Wars watch parties right now. Yeah, again, Wendy, thank you for following me on Twitch. And for those of you following me on Twitch, but you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, that is youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson. It's my main hub of entertainment. Let me go back to the... Let me open Twitch. Let me just do the thing off. Sorry, guys. I'm going to... Oh, yeah, I need to get back into this groove. Sorry, folks. Yeah, for youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson. That's my main hub of entertainment, movie reviews, TV show reviews, and other forms of entertainment. If you've already subscribed to me on YouTube, but you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/ The Real Mr. Robinson. No, just Real Mr. Robinson. Right now, my Twitch schedule's kind of randomized, at least for the month of May. But come June, things will be back to normal. I'll go back to streaming on the weekends, and it should be all good. James Bond 007 says, this is definitely the most memeable Star Wars movie. Oh, absolutely. I think The Last Jedi comes in at a close second in terms of memeable Star Wars movies. This one with the most unintentionally hilarious moments. I think Attack of the Clones has Revenge of the Sith beat in terms of hilarious moments. But yeah, we're going to get started. If you like what I'm doing with both YouTube and Twitch, you want to help support financially, that you can go to patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson for only $1 a month. You can help support both channels, but if you want some bonus content, you can pledge $3 or more. But if you can't help support financially, that's totally fine. Following me on Twitch or subscribing to me on YouTube is good enough. So I'm going to put the headphones on so we can get this started. No Bunch of Crunch this time. I tried to find some, but to no avail. But I do have popcorn here in my Last Jedi popcorn buckets. So that's probably there just to piss you all off who hate The Last Jedi. But I'm just going to do the Kermit meme. That is none of my business. Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot of referencing memes in this watch party. So without further ado, I'm going to grab the controller. We'll push the play button right about now. And I remember, like, this was a big event, felt like. I was 14 years old when Revenge of the Sith came out. It was like, wait, a Star Wars movie that's PG-13? Like, a Star Wars movie being rated PG-13 at the time might as well be an R rating by comparison. It was just like a big shocker of like, what, really? Spiders Prime says, I love The Last Jedi. Me too. Right Guy says, Last Jedi is okay. I like it. Cool. I'll take liking it over hating it, but whatever. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And I remember, like, the crowd just went nuts. It's always fun to hear the crowd go nuts with these Star Wars title crawls. War! Huh! Good God! Oh, what? Okay, I'm going to stop that before I get a copyright claim. War! The Republic is crumbling under attacks by the ruthless Sith Lord, Count Dooku. There are heroes in both sides. Evil is everywhere. In a stunning move, the fiendish droid leader, General Grievous, has swept into the Republic capital and kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine, leader of the Galactic Senate. As the Separatist droid army attempts to flee the besieged capital with their valuable hostage, 2 Jedi Knights lead a desperate mission to rescue the captive Chancellor. Yeah, there's, going back to what I said about the problem with the prequels, the one thing the sequel trilogy does better than the prequels is that you don't have to rely on additional content to understand what's going on. For people that only watch the movies, they read that title crawl and go, wait a minute, wait, who's General Grievous? Why did this big event happen off screen? So, I don't know, that... Again, like, the fact that the prequels needed supplemental material to be retroactively better is a problem. But then again, I hate The Rise of Skywalker, so whatever. Man, this one long take is... It's CG, but it's fun. And just the crazy amount of droid and... Republic ships, really keeping in tone with how chaotic Jenny Tartakovsky set up this sequence in the micro-series that I just reviewed earlier today. What's my opinion on Anakin Darth Vader character? Anakin Skywalker, before he becomes Darth Vader, is only a good character in the Clone Wars, and kind of this movie. And then Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains ever. Thoughts on the new Venom trailer? I think a more appropriate title for that movie would be Let There Be Garbage, because it looks exactly what it is, garbage. Again, let's try to keep the conversation strictly to Star Wars as much as possible. Like when I go back to streaming video games, I'll be happy to talk about anything, any random topics. There are those ARC 170s, man. I'm a big sucker for that, and I really like the ships with S-foils in Star Wars. Okay, there's one meme for you. There's where the fun. This is where the fun begins. The CGI looks better than that of the previous two movies. Yes, it does, James Bond 007. The CGI. This is the best CGI in the prequel trilogy, and ironically, it was the only movie that did not get a visual effects nomination. So, wow. God, the sound design. I will never get over how excellent Ben Burtt's sound design is for these movies. Yeah, this was the type of scene the last two movies were missing. Like, just... granted, I'm a big sucker for, like, big space battles in Star Wars. Oh, James Bond 007, you need to watch the 3D Clone Wars series, because it's fantastic. Well, there goes Obi-Wan's casually like, oh dear. You gotta think, like, every astromech except BB-8 and R2-D2 are worthless. Because R4 P-17 did nothing around those buzz droids. And then soon we're gonna see R2 be a badass. You know, Obi-Wan, you could try spinning. I heard that's a good trick. And again, in going back to Star Tours, like this sequence is a lot of fun when you visit Space Coruscant in Star Tours. Okay, like, look. I guess because R2's been through a lot more shit than R4, that he's able to defend himself. Not sure how R2 was able to hear Obi-Wan, but okay. One thing I don't like about the prequels is that there are a lot of blaster sound effects that are inconsistent with, like, changing. Because when Anakin's Jedi Starfighter was shooting the buzz droids off of Obi-Wan's ship, it sounded like the Imperial Walker sound effects. But just there, when he was destroying the shields for Grievous's capital ship, the Dreadnought, it sounded like TIE Fighter sound effects. There's the biggest coward in the galaxy himself, General Grievous. He's got a cool voice, but let's be honest, Grievous is such a coward. Which probably explains why, a portion of why the war lasted as long as it did. God, I love those droidicas. I will never get tired of the way they look or the sound design for the droidicas. Yeah, y'all stood no chance. James Bond 007 on YouTube says, I've been told that the Siege of Mandalore arc in that series is some of the best Star Wars content since Empire, and that if the people behind it remade Revenge of the Sith in animated form, it would be superior to Empire Strikes Back. That, I don't think it would be superior to Empire Strikes Back, but, the beauty of the Siege of Mandalore arc is how it simultaneously flows with Revenge of the Sith. Like, at the moment this is happening, Ahsoka, Rex, and Bo-Katan are all headed back to Mandalore to try to take the planet back from Maul. Yeah, just everything that happens in that arc. Like, I would love to try to find that, try to find a way to watch, Revenge of the Sith and the Siege of Mandalore arc edited together. I would dedicate, 4 hours of my time to watch that. Razorbike on YouTube says, hi, Alex and chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry for being late. I was in the shower. I mean, no worries. You're only 10 minutes into the movie. I'm excited because from here on out, at least till the Rise of Skywalker, I love all these movies. Yeah, that's the thing. For me, again, we're only doing the Skywalker saga. We're not doing Solo. We're not doing Rogue One. We're obviously not doing Clone Wars because we already passed that point. But from here on out, it's like there's 6 Star Wars movies we're going to be watching that I like or love. And then we end it all with my least favorite Star Wars movie. The quality between this one and Attack of the Clones is such a huge shock every time I move between these two. Yeah, but I think in the last year, a lot of people are claiming Revenge of the Sith to be a masterpiece, and that's not in my vocabulary. I mean, this prequel trilogy is very much like Zack Snyder's DC movies, where the first movie's at best underwhelming. The middle movie is awful. Although I'd rather watch Attack of the Clones than Batman vs. Superman any day. Yes, that flip was entirely necessary by not Christopher Lee. And then the third movie is easily the best of the 3. And pretty good, but it's not amazing. And I think the only reason people even call this a masterpiece, I think, is because we have all that context with Clone Wars. Without the Clone Wars, this movie would just be fine, or at the very best, it would just be good. Also, that line. One problem now that the Clone Wars exists, is that the line, there was no shadow where Obi-Wan was. Okay, there was a slight shadow, but there was no shadow underneath Obi-Wan when Dooku used the Force to lift him up. But anyway, one problem with the Clone Wars is that there's a lot of dialogue in this movie that suggests, like Like the line earlier, this time we'll do it together. I was just about to say that. That would imply that this is the first time Obi-Wan and Anakin have fought Dooku since Attack of the Clones. But, no, they fought Dooku several times in the Clone Wars. And together. So that line doesn't make sense. And then there's another line with General Grievous that doesn't make sense. But we'll get to it later. Yeah, that's obviously not Christopher Lee. Here comes another meme. Here it comes. Do it. I wish I had a meme counter right now, but I think that's two. It's two memes, right? This is where the fun begins and do it. The prequel, King Raiko on YouTube says, the prequel and sequel trilogies are opposites to me. Prequels, first two stink, last one's good. Sequels, first two are good, last one stinks. I feel the exact same way. And then the original trilogy, just perfection. That's racist. That's racist, Palpatine. They're called Tusken Raiders. Foreshadowing. Ryguy 2015 says, I love the red and blue mixed together. Great foreshadow of what's to come. Yeah, even though this movie is definitely CG heavy, it has a beautiful color scheme to it, and it looks gorgeous at times. There's that Wilhelm scream. Oh, well, here comes some problems. We're 16 minutes into the movie, and this thing's flown by already. This thing's flown by quick. And again, like, this is the first time the prequels have even felt like Star Wars movie, or at least felt like the original trilogy. Yeah. Oh yeah, this movie infinitely looks better. This movie looks 10 times better than Attack of the Clones. Oh, sorry to hear that, Gzilla100. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day and you get some rest. Huh. That would be the elevator. Yeah, that elevator should have caught up with them, huh? Oh, what a close call. James 107 says, the person who said what I said earlier, said that he believed that Revenge of the Sith was better than Empire on paper, but it was executed poorly, so that's why it's not as good. No, Empire has the advantage of being, I don't know, Empire Strikes Back has the advantage of just being, like, having the element of surprise, because, I mean, it's not really fair to this movie because it is a prequel, so by default, we know what happens. Again, R2 is he is a lucky astromech. That super battle droid could have been shot by all those super battle droids he encountered, but he just happened to encounter two clumsy ones, and then that one didn't blast him. He just kicked him. I don't think James Bond 007. I don't think Return of the Jedi is a major step down from the others. But again, that's just me. See, that line makes sense because in the Clone Wars, Anakin and General Grievous have never actually talked to each other, or never actually got a good glimpse of each other face to face. Oh yeah, it was cool. I don't know. I'm sure some of you have seen The Bad Batch, but in the first episode, I like how they remake segments of this sequence in Revenge of the Sith in that Clone Wars animation style. Wait, that battle droid said "ow." I don't understand how is that battle droid able to understand words or understand words? God damn it! How is that battle droid able to feel anything? That doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm thinking too hard. Again, biggest coward in the galaxy. General Kenobi. Well, pretty convenient that the escape pods are that close to the bridge. King Ryko on YouTube says, I still think Grievous being the droid leader should have shown up earlier. He should have. Again, we got the Clone Wars in context, but that kind of goes to show that, yeah, Lucas had an idea of where the trilogy was going to end, but not everything was planned out. Yay, half a ship. Let's see if we can land this in the city without possibly killing people or ourselves. It would have been so hilarious. If the front half of the dreadnought that they try to land, it would be hilarious if it crashed into the Senate building or the Jedi Temple. But like, it would have been so, like, oh no. But then again, Anakin is a great pilot, so naturally he landed on an airstrip, which I didn't think for for ships that don't have wheels, that you need airstrips, but whatever. There's another meme for you. Another happy landing. Mike on YouTube says, God, like every line of this has been memed. It's hard for me to take it seriously. Hey, there's the Falcon in the lower right. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it is kind of... There is a point where all the memes that have been made about the dialogue in this movie, it gets to a point where it's hard to take the movie itself seriously. There's another meme for you. Hold on a second. This operation was your idea. Yeah. In the real world right now, nobody would ever call a day spent with politicians glorious. Like, no matter which side you're on, I'd never want to hang out with politicians. Okay, ooh, that was a bad special effect back there. There's Katie Lucas again, I think. Okay, there was a shot of Jar Jar Binks where it looked like his head was floating, or at the very least, I don't know. Yeah, there's the gold C-3PO that we all know and love. Not as terrible as Attack of the Clones, but still, you've got some awkward moments with this romance. Yeah, there's a lot of obvious green screen in this movie. Again, something the sequel trilogy does better than this, and maybe it's because of the decade gap between Revenge of the Sith and The Force Awakens, but there's a lot more real sets. Dun dun dun. I love Hayden Christensen's reaction, where it's a little like shock, panic, and then joy. Now, here's something I do... Okay, I'll wait till the scene ends before I ask this question. Okay, they're done talking. So, for those of you who've seen the Clone Wars as well, in the Bad Batch arc, there's that brief moment where Anakin is talking to Padme via transmissions, and we see that Padme has a little baby bump. Is that supposed to take place before Revenge of the Sith? Like, it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense that Anakin and Obi-Wan and Mace Windu would be off somewhere else. And then, yeah, because Captain Rex is with the Bad Batch as well. Okay, so there's a continuity error right there. Like, we clearly see a baby bump on Padme in the Bad Batch arc. And Anakin should have known that his wife is pregnant there. But some reason he doesn't find out until this moment. Where it doesn't look like in this movie, at least up until a certain point, it doesn't look like Padme has a baby bump. That is... That somebody didn't think that out. think somebody didn't think that out clearly, but whatever. Just as much as I can't speak English at the moment. This is the only... I can't think of any time in the Clone Wars. I mean, the micro series, he's talked to Darth Sidious. But in the 3D series, I don't think there's any moment where Grievous and Sidious have spoken. Yeah, this is more believable because Natalie Portman gives a stronger performance in this movie, and Hayden Christensen's a lot more mature in his act. Like Anakin just feels like a much mature character here. So, okay, the dialogue here, the dialogue's not cringeworthy at all. The problem is, I think it's just trying to be, there are points where the dialogue's trying to be a little too poetic, and it just comes across as corny and unrealistic. You know, I kind of am getting that hair again because during quarantine I started growing my hair out up until a certain point where I'm just like, okay, I'm cutting it. Um, but back in 2014, I really wanted to have Anakin's hair in this movie, but I think like because it's curly enough to where I could pull it off. I guess I just need to have patience and grow it out a little longer. Yeah, Spider's Prime says, um, Spider's Prime on YouTube says, I need to watch the CGI Clone Wars and Rebels. Clone Wars is fantastic. Rebels, I like parts of Rebels, but I'm not in love with it like everyone else is. If only Anakin had stayed with that line and believed that himself, that it was only a dream. Okay, there's a baby bump. Okay, I'll take that back. I guess because previously, I guess in the shot when they got reunited, it didn't look like she had a baby bump, but you could see it there. Right Guy 2015 says, "What's your opinion on reasons for Anakin to turn?" Um, in the movie itself, I feel like it's a light switch where it just happens so suddenly. But with all the context that the Clone Wars gives us, you can understand why Anakin would have turned. Um, And it's kind of the same reasons Ahsoka left the Order. Like, kind of the hypocrisy, just the stupid rules that the Jedi Order puts on their members. And really stupid advice like this from Yoda. Like, that's like, that's good advice. Um, like, there's some good advice that Yoda has. The fear of loss is the fear of loss is bad. Like, the fear of loss is bad. Um, and that attachment can lead to jealousy, but like, don't mourn or don't miss those that have transformed into the Force, and train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. Yoda has given some great, like, words of wisdom, but that was one of the worst. And another part that leads to Anakin's turn is the fact that Palpatine has pretty much been, I don't know if this is the right word I want to use, but is that? Yeah, it is. There's a fire truck driving right by my window. I apologize. As I was saying before that fire truck drove by, another part of Anakin's turn is the fact that Palpatine has been, how do I put this, grooming Anakin since he was a boy, which that sounds off. That sounds so wrong and pedophilic, but there's a lot of factors when you watch the Clone Wars that play into Anakin's fall to the dark side. Here's another meme. In terms of meme world, it's like you were in 90s kids, kids who were born in 1999. Um, oh, and then also again, Mace Windu's the poster child for everything wrong with this order, or with the old Jedi ways. By the way, it's like in meme world, Anakin would be a kid born in 1999. Everyone on the council would be born in 1990, or like early 90s, very late 80s. And it's like, you were on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. And there's another meme. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Manipulating is a better term, Razorbyte, rather than grooming. That is not a real set. Like that set is completely green screen. Razorback on YouTube says, I always wondered what Obi-Wan was shaking his head at. I think he's shaking his head at Anakin for being kind of disrespectful for being on the council, for complaining about not being a Jedi Master despite being on the council. Yeah, that is completely... That is a green screen backdrop right there, and you can tell. I mean, again, for a lot of green screen shots and green... Like, nearly everything being green screen in this movie, they do a good job making it look good. And again, like, these scenes work better between Anakin and Obi-Wan than they do in Attack of the Clones because Anakin is not whining the entire time. Like, there's something just more mature about Hayden Christensen's performance, even if he's not very good. And that moment right there, when Yoda rubs his head back, is a nod to Kurosawa's Seven Samurai with Takashi Shimura. Okay, let's talk about the prophecy for a second. For me, I'm under the impression that the prophecy was just a superstitious Jedi bullshit thing that just never came true. I mean, some people could see it as I don't know. It's a difficult, it's a touchy subject matter in terms of Star Wars. Like, is it real? Is it not? Who is the chosen one? Is it Anakin? Is it Luke? I mean, I guess that's a good way to look at it, Razorbike, who says it wasn't misread, it just came around in a very roundabout way. Which, yeah, because Anakin did turn back to the light and threw Palpatine off the cliff when to save his son. It's too bad that J.J. Abrams had to just disgrace that ending. Whatever. All right, here comes one of the best non-action scenes in the entire trilogy. I think the best of the entire trilogy. That Twi'lek has some massive, has a massive chest right there. Sorry, just something I don't know. There's George Lucas. There's Katie and George Lucas having a conversation on the left side of the screen. I think that's the only time George Lucas has cameoed in one of these movies, where he pulled a Hitchcock. Okay, I gotta say something. I know we're 6 movies away from Rise of Skywalker. But there's something that get out of here. Anyway, I know we're 6 movies away from Rise of Skywalker, but up until Rise of Skywalker, I've had no problem with all the weird planet names like Kamino, Geonosis, Naboo, Utapau, Mustafar. And even in Rise of Skywalker, Exegol didn't seem like a bad name for a planet, but what's it called? The planet that the Resistance sets their base on is never said in the movie, but the planet's name, according to Battlefront 2, is Agent Kloss. For some reason, that name just never sat right with me. It just sounded like a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent or something. Like Agent Kloss. Agent Santa Claus reporting for duty. Palpatine. You could just see the gears in Palpatine's head working. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, for all the terrible scenes, for a lot of the terrible dialogue that this trilogy has, the dialogue, like, George Lucas really spent a lot of time writing this sequence. This is just a fascinating conversation. And then when Palpatine tells the story of Darth Plagueis, wait, how do you know that story then? Never mind. If there's one thing I would give Rise of Skywalker credit for, it's that we actually get to see this Force power being used. Hearing that line of dialogue in Rise of Skywalker, though, was just so on the nose and ugh. There's another meme for you. And what I love about that moment is that they don't say it like straight to the audience's face that they don't say it, but it's implied that Darth Sidious was the apprentice of Darth Plagueis. Oh no. Okay, YouTube, am I still here? Because I lost internet really briefly. I'm going to check YouTube. It says I'm still here. If you're in the comments, tell me if I'm still here. If you can still see this happening. It looks like it. Huh? This was Kashyyyk was supposed to be in Return of the Jedi, and I kind of wish it was instead of the Ewoks. But whatever. I'm not a fan of Chewbacca just randomly being in this movie for no reason outside of fan service. All right, I'm opening up YouTube on my browser to see if it's still up, if I'm still going. Yeah, we're still here. Okay, good. It probably split into 2 parts on Twitch, but... Okay, yeah, multi-stream, it's not working. So James Bondolson, it says, so Darth Plagueis' apprentice was Palpatine, right? Yes, that's correct. Turner Jenkins says, hello there. Hello there, Turner Jenkins. There's something tragic about that being Anakin and Obi-Wan's last conversation before he turns. I still can't believe that John Williams was never nominated for Best Original Score in any of these films. Especially Revenge of the Sith, which I think, out of all the 3, is his best score. Hi, Cody. I hope we get to see, okay, it looks like it started another stream on Twitch, which is fine. Like, the important thing is that the YouTube stream didn't cut out, because that's the most important. Like, that's the one that's going to be saved. I'm not going to say it's the most important. I'm not going to say it's the YouTube stream's more important than the Twitch stream. But it's the one that's going to stay there forever, unlike Twitch, which will just disappear after 2 weeks. Hey, look, as a kid, I always thought Anakin, it kind of looks like an N-Gauge that he has. As a kid, I always thought that Anakin was holding a PSP. How much do you think that apartment costs? I want more. I couldn't help it. $450 a week. So 450 Republic credits a week. How much is that a month, though? What's 450 times 4? Turner Jenkins said, "Wait, really? You thought that was a PSP?" Well, I thought it was the Star Wars equivalent of a PSP. I was a dumb 14-year-old kid when this came out. A dumb 14-year-old teenager. Okay, 450 times 4. 1,800 a month. No, like 450 a week. Time 450 times 4 is 1,800, which for an apartment like that, if theoretically if that apartment really did cost 1,800 a month, that would be a bargain. That would be a bargain of an apartment. Like, you might as well have stolen that or squatted in it. So I always thought I don't know the race of those guys. For some reason, I always thought that that guy was voiced by Terrence Stamp. Not realizing that, oh wait, Terrence Stamp was Chancellor Valorum in The Phantom Menace. Yeah, I miss Obi-Wan's red Jedi Starfighter. And that's the last time Obi-Wan will ever see that droid and his Starfighter again. So, okay, for those, if you're watching this on Twitch, I have to apologize, or maybe if I refresh the chat, that'll work. Somebody on YouTube just randomly typed something, because I want to see if the multi-stream section on Streamlabs works. Because I don't want to think that I'm ignoring. Okay, so Turner Jenkins typed something, so it still works. Because I don't want if anyone's watching this on Twitch, but you're trying to comment, I don't want to think that I'm ignoring you. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. It's just at the moment I couldn't read comments on the multi-stream tab. I gotta say, in terms of wildlife in the galaxy, Utapau wins, because they pretty much have a bunch of dinosaurs there. Silverberry328, hello there on Twitch. Snow is the best weather. Maybe a random comment, but at least I can read it. So thank you. Oh, here comes another meme. And both Robert and Vanessa from Late to the Party have made that their slogan. Hello there. That was a Raiders of the Lost Ark moment right there. Like, yeah, he could fight those Magna Guards, but he'll just do that. See, that line makes no sense because it implies that Obi-Wan and Grievous have not fought each other before. But in the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan and Grievous have fought several times. And here we come to, in my opinion, the worst lightsaber duel, maybe of the entire saga. Like, in the Clone Wars, Grievous's lightsaber duels are fun, and in the micro series, the lightsaber duels with Grievous are just so awesome. But here, like, it's just, you can't really tell what's going on, and it's too close up. Like, the camera's just filmed too close, and all you just see are a bunch of random arms swinging laser swords all over the place. Like, what is happening right now? I think the fact that Grievous is also CGI That doesn't help either. But thankfully, that lightsaber duel doesn't last very long. So it's like, for being the worst lightsaber duel in the saga, it is mercifully short. Got the level of detail on Grievous's mask is amazing. Razorbike on YouTube asks, "What's worse, this fight or the Yoda versus Dooku fight?" I'd say I still think the Obi-Wan and Grievous fight is worse, because you can like the Yoda versus Count Dooku fight is ridiculous, so you can laugh at it, and it's also filmed from a distance, so you can at least make out what's going on. Whereas with that fight, you couldn't tell what was going on because it was just too close up. You know, Obi-Wan, you scolded and you gave Anakin a hard time for losing his lightsaber. Might want to take that advice yourself. Huh? Right Guy 2015 says Anakin is not here. That's why not good. Are you talking about the fight? But they still can't. But they still can't connect the dots to what's going on. And then Ahsoka Tano and Commander Rex, walk into the room to report on the Mandalore siege. Because in the Clone Wars, that scene where Mace Windu says, "I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi," happens, but then the scene continues where Ahsoka and Rex enter the conversation. I mean, let's think about this. Obi-Wan took... It took Obi-Wan at least 10 years to become a Jedi Knight. No, to become a Jedi Master. So, Anakin could at least be patient. Yeah, Palpatine's really making it clear, like, I'm the Sith Lord, dumbass. And Turner Jenkins says, and somehow Ahsoka didn't die during Order 66. Of course she didn't die. I mean, before she came up in Star Wars Rebels, I thought she may have been, or at least till the end of Season 5 of the Clone Wars, I thought she was one of the victims of the war, not Order 66. Land Before Time 75 says, hey partner, hello there, welcome to the stream. Ugh. That is a fast lizard creature. I wish creatures like that existed, because I would love to have that as a pet. Land Before Time 75 says, I'm a huge fan of your reviews except for your Fallen Kingdom review. Oh, why? How come? Is it because I said I didn't like the movie? I love the weird sound effects that General Grievous makes during this fight. Like, it's not no dialogue comes from him. It's just these weird grunts. It's always weird to see Obi-Wan use a blaster. Well, I mean, I called him the biggest coward in the galaxy, but at the very least, he died in a fight instead of running away. Huh. Yeah. You could say killed. You don't have to say destroyed. That is a horribly rendered CGI clone just walking in the background. You know, for Mace Windu touting the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force, he pretty much said, "Fuck prophecy, we're going off to kill this Sith Lord." Like, they just totally left the Chosen One behind. Again, Mace Windu's everything wrong with the old Jedi religion. This sequence is fantastic as well. And again, it really demonstrates how how good Hayden Christensen is when he doesn't have dialogue to work with. Like this moment where Padme just looks and sees the temple from far away, and then Anakin stands up to look into the I guess downtown of Coruscant, to where Padme's apartment is. Such a beautiful moment. Yeah, Padme and 3PO don't do much in this movie. Like, 3PO's almost non-existent here. And Padme... I mean, Padme's just there as a plot device. I'm mixed about this lightsaber duel coming up. Because, I mean, it's clear that's not Ewan McDiarmid. And there's a lot of over-the-top moments. But it is cool to see Samuel L. Jackson actually be in a lightsaber duel. Here's another meme right here. It's treason then. That's so goofy. There goes Kit Fisto. AKA the Jamaican Jedi, according to the Clone Wars. Yeah, it's clear that that's not Ewan McDiarmid, and that's CG or just awkward close-ups to where he's not actually doing anything. Oh, are you taking off Turner Jenkins? Okay, this part coming up where Palpatine just jumps all over the place. Like, that! Come on, guys. And just do that awkward, like... Oh, and this moment coming up. Oh! Like, come on, these... Like... Ewan McDiarmid is just so over the top. Like, sometimes it's enjoyable. No, actually, it's all enjoyable, but sometimes it's unintentionally hilarious and not in a good way. Since Mace Windu's is... No. Okay, so Mace Windu's about to die. That's right, I said die because I don't think he survived. What has been the most Samuel L. Jackson moment that has come out of Mace Windu? Where it's like, I'm not playing a character anymore, I'm just being Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Force lightning pretty much deforming Palpatine. Like, I think it's just better. I think it's just more interesting that because Palpatine became Emperor and has been Emperor for 20 years, or 23 years, that he just, like, it's taken a toll on him. And there goes Mace Windu's hand. Power! There's another meme. Come, like, wow. Yet, there's no way he survived that. That moment at the end where Palpatine's just like, ah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this turn makes no sense, considering that, like, the turn right here doesn't make sense when Anakin, like, kind of regrets that he helped in killing Mace Windu. And then it's just like, yeah, sure, I'll become your apprentice. Very poor choice of words. Very poor choice of words, Anakin. Oh, the robot chicken sketch. Razorbike says on YouTube. Oh man. I gotta say, between the Family Guy and the Robot Chicken Star Wars parodies, Robot Chicken was the best. Because Family Guy has a lot of moments where it's like, this isn't even a joke. Like, this is just randomness. I don't think there was a reason to manipulate the voice, but I don't know. Why that name? Because it sounds threatening, Vader. Yoda senses something's wrong. And somewhere on the other side of the galaxy, Ahsoka sensed something was wrong as well. Okay, here coming up is the coming up here is probably the worst line delivery that Hayden Christensen has done in these two movies. Coming up, this line coming up right here. What about the other Jedi spread across the galaxy? Like, Abomination 2008 says, I feel that if Lucas kept making movies, they would keep improving, aka Phantom Menace versus Revenge of the Sith. Are you talking about in the gap where he didn't direct movies between A New Hope and Phantom Menace? Vader means father in German. Okay. So this piece of music, as Anakin and the 501st are marching into the temple, this was supposed to be the music that was played during the arena sequence in Attack of the Clones. It still bugs me that there's not one single practical clone trooper armor. Oh, you're talking about if he made the sequel trilogy, Abomination 2008. I mean, whether y'all want to believe this or not, but George Lucas's plan for Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy was pretty much what we got in the actual sequel trilogy, yeah? I mean, except for what they do with Luke in The Rise of Skywalker. But what they do in The Last Jedi is pretty accurate to what Lucas had planned. Yeah, if you watch the behind the scenes, Tamir Morrison's, I think he's just wearing a green or blue suit, and he's holding just an original trilogy stormtrooper helmet. Like, it makes no sense. And this sequence. Like, this sequence is so weird because, not in the sense that it's a weird sequence itself, but in the sense that, like, we know what happens because it's a prequel. There are all these characters that I didn't give a shit about in the past two movies that are suddenly getting killed off, and it's like, wait, I'm feeling something. And like now since the Clone Wars has ended, like getting context and getting to know all these characters does make Order 66 stronger. Again, I think it's because of John Williams. John Williams really makes the sequence better than it has any right to be. And also maybe I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but because we were all stuck in quarantine last year when the final season of Clone Wars was on Disney Plus, but for some reason when they showed Order 66 from Ahsoka's perspective, it just felt a lot more dark and tragic. Probably because we were in a difficult, difficult point in our lives as well. Yeah, I think it's more just the tragedy doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, this sequence is well done. I think that's the planet where deserting the clone trooper that deserted the war to have a family lives. Cut. Yeah, Yoda. Like I think because Yoda and Ahsoka had the advantage of feeling a disturbance in the Force as Order 66 was happening, so that's why they were able to survive. Um, that's why they were able to survive Order 66. It's terrible acting right there. Those poor kids. Abomination 2008 says Revenge of the Sith might have the best soundtrack in the series. At least it definitely the best score of the prequels. And I honestly, I'm one of the few people that thinks Battle of the Heroes is more powerful than Duel of the Fates. I love Duel of the Fates, don't get me wrong, but Battle of the Heroes just has a more tragic feeling to it. Land Before Time 1975 says Frozen 2 is one of the worst Disney animated movies in 2019 in my opinion. It was the only Disney animated movie of 2019, but it's nowhere among the worst Disney animated movies ever. goes Bail Organa. And that is George Lucas's son right there. Yeah, I wonder how his kid felt like hearing, okay, so you're going to be in a sequence where clone troopers are going to kill you. Okay, Bail Organa had a straight up airspeeder from American Graffiti, which in my opinion is George Lucas's second best movie. And I don't think many people would disagree with that. Yeah, the fact that the clones just switch on a dime is creepy. You had no reason to be in this movie. American Graffiti is fantastic, Razorback. There's Yoda's theme. And this is an obvious nod to E.T. Yeah. Yeah, because clearly, like, Steven Spielberg and George Lucas love to pay tribute to each other's movies. James Bond 007 on YouTube says, this would be his third best, Revenge of the Sith, after the first Star Wars and American Graffiti. I guess so. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen THX 1138. So maybe if I rewatch that movie, that might be his third best. But I don't. When I saw it, I don't remember it being that interesting. So I guess Revenge of the Sith would be his third best. Yeah, this really did feel like Abomination 2008 says, flaws and all, I do believe Lucas put his heart into this one. Absolutely. I mean, this feels like the movie that George Lucas wanted to make. But he just needed two other movies to set up this one. But then again, the Clone Wars does a better job of setting up Revenge of the Sith than Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. So again, the prequel trilogy might have had a plan, but because it's so spread out, it just felt kind of sloppy. Okay, Natalie Portman, I want you to do that take again, but feel a little more shocked. I want to hear a little more shock in your voice when you say, I can't believe that. Again, I think Natalie Portman has vastly improved in this movie since the last two, but there's still some line readings that don't come across as very organic. THX 1138, James Bond 007 was George Lucas's first film prior to American Graffiti. It is science fiction. If you're wondering where that, like, when you see the THX sound system, like, logo pop up, if you're wondering what the origin of that was, that movie is the origin of that sound, THX 1138. Yeah, THX 1138 is kind of a slow burn, so you kind of have to be in the right mindset to watch that movie. Okay, going back to Padme's apartment. Theoretically, if that costs 1,800 a month, that is a killer balcony with a fountain and everything. Or that's more of a patio than a balcony. Oh, hey, look, a practical set in a prequel film. I mean, I know we were on the Blockade Runner earlier, but seeing that set is so cool. It's so funny how it never Yoda being so as tiny as he is just so fun. Oh, and also if you watch the Robot Chicken Star Wars sketches, there's a sketch where IG-11 brings it's or IG-88. IG-11 is in Mandalorian, where IG-88 brings his cousin to a bounty hunter party, and he says, "Hey guys, I brought my cousin THX-1138. Hope that's cool." And then his cousin makes the noise. Oh yeah, you separatists are fucked. Back to Coruscant. Oh yeah, James Bond 007. Um, I mean, all ideas kind of come from somewhere. Like, if we're staying within the realm of 70s Lucas or Spielberg, um, Bryan Singer's production company, Bad Hat Harry, was taken from a line from Jaws, where there's an Amity. There's a citizen at Amity talking to Chief Brody, and Chief Brody says, "That's some bad hat, Harry." You know, it was so cool to see Mustafar um, in the newer movies, like Rogue One, where Vader's castle is. And I kind of wish they emphasized that the first planet that we see in The Rise of Skywalker was Mustafar. Or at least like a Mustafar that had started to heal and produce plants and organic life. Yeah, R2, poor guy. He didn't. Poor R2D2. R2's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. There's those little mouse droids. Oh, y'all are dead. So, Yoda and Obi-Wan are mowing down clone troopers like a badass. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, Captain Rex and Ahsoka are doing everything they can to not kill the clone troopers that are attacking them. Oh yeah, and this speech is broadcasted on Camino to all the clone troopers and the Bad Batch, who are yeah, the bad. It's cool that the Bad Batch does not, that Order 66 does not work on the Bad Batch. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Razorbike said this is all Jar Jar's fault. To an extent, it is, but also it's Mace Windu's fault for kind of holding back the Chosen One, as well as the stupid, like all the stupid restrictions that the Jedi Order had to follow. Like there were a lot of faults. There were a lot of things that played into the fall of Anakin Skywalker and the rise of the Empire. James Bond 007 says, no sane person likes the rise of Skywalker. Oh, I wish that were true, but I know some people who consider Rise of Skywalker not only the best of the sequel trilogy, but the best Star Wars movie, which, I mean, people can like what they like, but I can't endorse that nonsense. There it is. And the look of disappointment on Padme's face. That's the exact same thing I said when Trump got elected president. Yeah, there are two lines in big film franchises that really resonate with me in terms of like the real world. In Revenge of the Sith, there's that line, "So this is how liberty dies with thunderous applause," and in Captain America: Civil War, it's an empire that is toppled by its enemies can rise again, but one that crumbles from within, that's dead forever. Razorbike says in the chat on YouTube, this is exactly what happened to the Roman Republic and how it became the Roman Empire. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. I mean, because there's a lot of historical references in the Star Wars saga. Like either even if it's like far, far back, thousands of years in the past, or today. I mean, the whole notion of the Clone Wars is very parallel to um, the Iraq War. How Bush and the entire Bush administration just lied to the American people that, yeah, we need to go to Iraq, even though they were not the country responsible for 9/11. Yeah, also World War II, Razorbike, but I feel like the Galactic Civil War is more World War II than the Clone Wars. I have a friend who doesn't like Star Wars except for The Rise of Skywalker and The Mandalorian, says James Bond 007 on YouTube. Oh, I mean, Mandalorian, cool, but Rise of Skywalker, oh boy. That's, hmm. And I think there's some practical elements. Like, I would think the couch is real. Those curtains have to be real as well. I think that's a practical set. Natalie Portman, I think, is good in this movie, but from this point on, her acting is just better. Yeah, she really does a good job in these final scenes of her as Padme. And also, I like again going back to the Clone Wars and how it provides so much context to this movie. Um, like you could tell that Obi-Wan probably knew from the get-go that Anakin and Padme were married. And he knows what Anakin kind of went through because he had the same like he dealt with the same scenario with the Duchess of Mandalore, where did he did he want to risk being expelled from the Jedi Order to live a life with her, with Duchess Satine? Again, I think it's absolutely criminal that John Williams did not get nominated for his music in the prequels. Because really, there is no composer alive today that even touches him. James Bond 007 says, "I hate when people say to keep politics out of entertainment when there have been more than a few times when entertainment has gotten political in the past. Perhaps it's because in the past it was more subtle, but still, even today, I think there are a lot of political angles. There's a lot of political undertones in movies that are subtle. And that's what kills me about Star Wars specifically. Oh, I just noticed that the outfit that Padme's wearing kind of resembles some of Rey's outfits in the sequel trilogy. That's cool. I always thought that was as a 14-year-old teen, I thought that was a toilet that Obi-Wan was sitting in, so he's just taking a shit throughout the entire trip from Coruscant to Mustafar. But yeah, what kills me about the Star Wars fandom is they'll say, people say keep my politics out of Star Wars. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but actually I am the one. I'm happy to tell you this, but politics have been in Star Wars from day one. And believe it or not, the politics in the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy is far more in your face than the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy doesn't really have that much political intrigue when you think about it. I mean, there's some political intrigue with the sequel trilogy if you really analyze those films. And by that I mean Last Jedi and Force Awakens. Nothing. I don't think there's anything in Rise of Skywalker, but they're not as detailed or deep as in the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy. Oh, this scene, this scene is so heartbreaking. Where Padme just learns the truth about what happened with Anakin. James Bond 007 on YouTube says Godzilla, Star Wars, and even the MCU have had allegorical themes in many of their films. Absolutely. And Harry Potter as well. But we'll get to Harry Potter after this. And even then, we'll drop the ironically, We'll drop the political talk after I make this one last statement, but James Bond 007 says, even if it's on surface level, it's still there, and denying that is pointless. Honestly, like, having political subtext in entertainment makes it more interesting. It brings up conversations, even if I don't like talking about politics, like actual like real world politics. I love talking about politics within film or television. Was Anakin trying to do the Was Anakin trying to do the Jedi mind trick on his wife? Yeah, this laugh really when Order 66 starts taking effect, that's when this movie ends up being great, except for one moment, and I think we all know what that moment is. Oh, there's another meme. You have done that yourself, which is also the thing that I say to people who say, "Man, George Lucas, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson ruined my childhood." I'm like, "You have done that yourself." Razorbike says, "What moment?" Oh, you'll know it when we get to it. And once we get to it, you'll be like, "Oh yeah." It didn't George W. Bush say that, or not that, but just kind of a variation of, if you're not with us, you're against us, or maybe I'm thinking too deep. I wonder what that scene was like for Natalie Portman. It's like, okay, Natalie Portman, you're gonna be unconscious on the floor, and then Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, you guys are just gonna tap lightsabers back and forth like maniacs. I was like that moment. I forget that dude right there, but I like how he just kind of looks back and forth at Palpatine and Yoda. Yeah, it really goes to show you how much more powerful and dangerous. Uh, I'll go back and forth with calling him Sidious or Palpatine, but how much more dangerous he is to Yoda than Count Dooku. Because Yoda was easily able to deflect Dooku's Force lightning, but Palpatine, Yoda's gonna have problems. So I'm mixed on this lightsaber duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's definitely impressively choreographed, and both Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor do a great job. But it goes on for too long, and it gets way too over the top. in the last half of the fight. I think that's another meme right there of Palpatine just laughing right there. Palpatine went flying. I don't think we needed Yoda to deliver that action movie line. Okay, I've shit-talked the Yoda versus Count Dooku lightsaber duel, but I will not shit-talk this. Like, seeing ever since I became a Star Wars fan, seeing Yoda fight Darth Sidious or the Emperor in a lightsaber duel is something I've always wanted to see. And it's got some really goofy moments as well, especially since Yoda still jumps around all over the place. But man, this was my dream lightsaber fight. I always thought Anakin was like mouthing "fuck you" to Obi-Wan, but I don't know. It looked more like he was making weird mouth movements. Like, I don't know. Still not as goofy as when Mace Windu and Palpatine fought. Again, John Williams helps make this entire trilogy what it is. And this score, I still can't get over how brilliant his score is in this movie. Ah! Okay, I don't think that was entirely necessary. Razorbike on YouTube says, well, on Disney Plus it says mouth words, so you never know. Oh, is that mouth words? Is that really? Oh, that's funny. I remember there was a I was watching Jaws: The Revenge with subtitles. Don't ask why. Actually, I can answer why, because I was doing an audio commentary of it back on YouTube in 2014 with my brother. And there's a subtitle when Ellen Brody screams that is so hilarious. I forgot what it is, but I love it when subtitles just make. I love it when closed captioning are just when closed captions are just hilarious. And we got Duel of the Fates. You know, tomorrow, the next day has got to be really awkward for some of those senators. Like, where did our Senate seats go? And you gotta, like, how's the Emperor going to explain? Oh yeah, I had to throw some of your Senate seats to destroy a tiny little green dwarf or elf, whatever race Yoda and Grogu belong to. Oh yeah, Yoda's species has 3 fingers. See, again, right here, Yoda's having a little more trouble with Palpatine's Force Lightning than he did with Dooku's. Ouch. Ugh. Ugh, there's something about that, like, Yoda's nails just scratching the side that just, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Yoda, for being almost 900 years old in this movie, Yoda could take a beating. See, this is the point where the Anakin Obi-Wan lightsaber duel gets a little too much. It's impressive and it's epic. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little too flashy and a little too long. And I wonder if I don't know. It's more John Williams. It gives us more reason, a better excuse to listen to more John Williams music. Ugh, the Coruscant Guard. Something about the Coruscant Guard of clone troopers. Even in the Clone Wars, I always hated them. Because I always felt like all the clones were never in on Order 66, but I always felt like the Coruscant Guard was. King Raiko on YouTube says, it's the Peter Griffin versus Giant Chicken fight of lightsaber duels. Oh, that's a good one. I never thought about that. That's a real volcanic explosion. So when Yoda goes into exile, people are okay with it. And more specifically, when Yoda goes into exile for failing, people seem to be cool with it. But when Luke goes into exile for failing, people flip their shit. We'll get to Last Jedi when we get to it. There's Battle of the Heroes. It's really difficult to compare Battle of the Heroes and Duel of the Fates because they're both so good. I'm an hour and 58 minutes into the movie. Or if you want to be more specific, an hour 57 minutes and 37 seconds. Well, there goes Darth Vader. Nope. Super duper force jump. Perfectly timed on that droid. King Raiko on YouTube says, I've thought about that. I've had that thought about Obi-Wan Anakin's duel for years now, but never got the opportunity to just let it out in the open. Here comes another meme. I forget who said it in the chat, but whoever said it was right. Sometimes it's really hard to take this movie seriously considering the amount of memes that have been generated from it. And here comes another meme. That's the thing I say when people say, you can't make so many of these videos within the span of a month. Like your YouTube schedule's too crowded, Alexander. You underestimate my power. And it looks like in that situation, Anakin overestimated his power. Yeah, it is such a. Again, with more context in the Clone Wars, this is a heartbreaking moment. That. I hate you. Ewan McGregor really is good in these movies. But, I mean, things can't get worse for Anakin, right? Oh. I know a lot of people had an issue with Anakin having to just get all this damage before he gets into the Vader suit. Like, losing all of his limbs. And then being burnt alive. I think it just, thinking about it, I think it just adds to the tragedy of his character. Now for some Kentucky Fried Anakin. That's wrong, Razorbike. That is so wrong. But yeah, it plays into that. All that plays into Anakin's tragedy. Where Obi-Wan's just like, thanks, 3PO. um, yeah, it's the tragedy of his character and how Anakin was really suffering once he was in the Vader costume. He's lost everything and only has the Empire to rule, or at least partially rule, since Palpatine is the main ruler. And even then, up until the Battle of Yavin, Tarkin outranked Vader. I say, out of all the planets in the Star Wars galaxy, why would anyone want to live on Mustafar? Like, even when Mustafar is healed and has plant life in The Rise of Skywalker, it just seems like a horrible place to live. Huh? So for those that watch the Clone Wars, am I the only one that dislikes the Coruscant Guard troops? Just in the sense that they don't seem loyal or friendly at all. Yeah, we know Palpatine has no sympathy for Anakin. He doesn't care about if he doesn't care if Anakin lives or dies unless it serves his own bidding. That is a nice room on Polis Massa that Yoda has. And yes, I know the name of this asteroid. If you played the original Battlefront 2, you know that this base or this asteroid is called Polis Massa. This was always one of the weirdest maps in Battlefront 2. Sidious's theme, like, never fails to give me chills. You could you could just cut out that line. She's lost the will to live, because there is a like, it's been scientifically proven that, like, a broken heart, like, you could die of a broken heart, ironically. um yeah, this is a great parallel moment. Um like, the birth, like, you have the true birth of Darth Vader and the birth of the Skywalker children. Unfortunately, that kid's not going to have any memory of you, Padme. Yeah, there's the birth of my favorite character in the entire saga. Yeah, the birth of Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa, and the true birth of Darth Vader. Right Guy 2015 asked a question, but I'm gonna wait until this this scene transition, because I'm gonna be silent during the breathing. Haunting. King Reiko said, King Reiko on YouTube says, it would have been super easy to replace Naboo with Alderaan. Yeah, it would have, but whatever. For me personally, I feel like the scene should have cut there. But I get that this scene has to continue, because the reason Anakin became Darth Vader was to try to save Padme's life. So knowing that she died because of him is tragic. But this moment coming up, I saw some people in the chat like making the parallels to Luke going no in Empire Strikes Back, but it's not the same. Like, it's not as corny and stupid as this. Like, it just doesn't work. It ruins a really emotionally heavy scene. Right Guy 2015 says, I will defend his scream of no, I don't care. Okay, but you please tell me you don't defend the decision to put that in Return of the Jedi. Because I hate it more when it's in Return of the Jedi than in this movie. Like, in this movie, it just doesn't work. In Return of the Jedi, I absolutely despise that Lucas put it in. Yoda has himself a nice Twitch chair. Like seriously, that chair that Yoda's sitting in, I'm sure there's a Twitch streamer out there that has that chair. He wasn't announced in the cast list, but I hope Liam Neeson cameos as Qui-Gon. It would be odd if considering that this Obi-Wan series coming up is going to be just a limited series and not a like series of seasons. It would be very weird if Qui-Gon didn't show up. There's Padme's parents who were in the deleted scenes of Attack of the Clones. There really is that detail of making Padme appear to be pregnant to hide the fact that she actually gave birth to twins. Some people have criticized the fact that they're just suddenly Imperial officers that aren't clones. But I feel like Palpatine has been planning this, considering the amount of time Palpatine has been planning to turn the Republic into the Empire. I'm sure he had all this ready to go the second he declared himself Emperor. I still think this is despite the no, this is a fantastic end to the trilogy. And really puts into perspective why Episode 4 has the subtitle A New Hope. Razorbike says, I think it's several months later, too. Episode 2 of The Bad Batch shows us a lot of placement, a lot of things that the Empire has started using, and that wasn't several months in the future, so I think... But again, this is science fiction. I don't know. It's a nitpicky thing that's not worth arguing about. Oh, did y'all know that that kid has to be... That kid is 16 years old now. Let's see, Revenge... Yeah, 16 years old. And Revenge... And... The child that plays baby Luke and baby Leia are played by one kid. This is such a perfect transition to the original trilogy. This like any moment with the binary suns gets me emotional, whether it's this final scene in Revenge of the Sith when Luke looks out into the suns in A New Hope, or when Luke dies in The Last Jedi. It always gets me emotionally. So anyway, somebody asked me, what's my opinion? Okay, I think it's Ryguy, either Ryguy or King Ryko. Okay, Ryguy 2015 said earlier, George Lucas said himself, the first 6 episodes of Star Wars is about the tragedy of Darth Vader. Do you believe that? I would say the first in the original trilogy, it's more subtle that it's about the tragedy of Darth Vader, because it's more about his kids, Luke and Leia. The prequel trilogy is definitely that. And I feel like the original trilogy, had they not butchered the ending with the Rise of Skywalker, Did I say original trilogy or sequel? Whatever. I feel like for the sequel trilogy, had they not butchered the ending with the Rise of Skywalker, it could have been just the Anakin's children passing the torch, or at least Anakin's children passing the torch to a new generation, even if Luke was very resentful of it. Again, we'll get to that sequel trilogy when we get to it, but tomorrow, because tomorrow is another day off that I have, tomorrow I have off from work as well, so we're going to jump right into Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And for those, I know some of you are asking me, some of you might be wondering right off the bat, which versions am I going to watch? Because a lot of people don't have access to the original unaltered versions, I won't be watching those. I think you could watch, I think if you watch any of the special editions of A New Hope, it'll be fine. But for me personally, I'm going to go with the 2004 DVD version. Because I hate those CGI rocks in front of R2-D2. I hate the changed Krayt Dragon voice for Obi-Wan in the Blu-ray version. I can't stand I don't want to watch McClunky. The 2004 DVD version of both A New Hope and Return of the Jedi have the more tolerable changes within the special editions. As for Empire Strikes Back, I'm going to be watching the Blu-ray version, which I'm certain is the same version you can find on Disney+. So Empire Strikes Back will be the easiest. And then one of the best things about this sequel trilogy, whether you love them or hate them, is that they weren't altered for their home video release, so we don't have to worry about which version of the sequel trilogies we watch. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for tuning into this stream. I saw that Nick was in the chat. Hi there, Nick from Twitch. Sorry you just came in. He says, today I had my second shift of my new job I started doing since yesterday, which if I hadn't said is also my first job ever. Well, congratulations for that. Congratulations on that job and getting your second shift. I hope it's working well for you. Razorbike on YouTube says, "What? You're telling me you don't like Jedi rocks?" I don't like Jedi rocks. I prefer it, I forget what it's called. Lapti Neck. I prefer that. But funny enough, I prefer Victory Celebration over Yub Nub. There's something about Yub Nub that just doesn't sound, it's just not as good as Victory Celebration in my opinion, but that's just me. Anyway, guys, tomorrow will be Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the beginning of the original trilogy. And again, I'll be doing the 2004 DVD version. So you guys can, so I think doing the Disney Plus version might be okay for you guys, since the only thing that was really added was McClunky, and it's only like a second long. Nick Sheet says, it might be harder to tune into your streams, though, because my shifts are from 5 to 9 p.m. on weekdays. Oh, well, I mean, throughout May, it's going to be a little wonky in terms of streaming schedules, but come June, things will be a little more... when June comes around, I'll be back to streaming on the weekends because I have a more... a better schedule. Noise Less Suggestions 695 on Twitch says, hello, if you need real free and high quality service to increase your viewers, check streamdetails.com, spelled D-O capital T C-O space M. Top streamers already use it. Thank you, Noiseless Suggestions, but I think I'm good. I think I'm going to pass on that offer. Because I feel like it might, in the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Tomorrow we'll be doing A New Hope again. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be doing the DVD versions. Let me see if I can, let's see if we can raid anyone. Let's see if there's anyone on Twitch we can raid. I just sat through the entire credits, which, hey, it's accompanied by John Williams' score, so who's complaining? Who's complaining about that? Okay, I stopped the timer. Who's streaming on Twitch? How many people are watching on Twitch? If you guys have a Twitch account, why don't you, if you guys are on YouTube, first of all, if you're on YouTube but you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/realmrrobinson. You could head over there and let's see if we could try to raid somebody. Only one person's watching, so I don't think we'll have enough people to raid unless more people decide to come over. By the way, for Twitch, my schedule is going to be a little more wonky all over the place until June. Once June comes around, I'll have a better work schedule that will allow me to get back to my regular streaming schedule where it's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But until then, May is going to be a little wonky. But still, twitch.tv/realmrrobinson. With streaming on the weekends, I'll stream when I can, but I can't make any promises on that they'll be consistent until June at least. But if you're following me on Twitch, but you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, that is youtube.com/The Real Mr. Robinson. That's my main hub of entertainment, movie reviews, TV show reviews, and other stuff. With theme parks starting to reopen, I'm planning to do some theme park related videos in the future. So I can't say when, but that's definitely in the plans. If you like what I'm doing with either channel and you want to help support financially, you can go to patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson. You can donate only $1 a month and help out. But if you want access to exclusive content that no one else gets to see, you can pledge $3 or more. But if you can't, that's totally fine. Following me on Twitch or subscribing to me on YouTube is good enough. And I appreciate all your support. So two people on Twitch, it's not worth it. It's been a while since I've done a Twitch raid. I like to do it again in the future, but let's, I'm going to call it a night. So thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, will be Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And until then, this is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one. May the Force be with you.